Okay, let us chant before starting. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everybody. Today we are going to discuss the 15th sutta of Samyutta Nikaya. The name of the sutta is Sanamana. Actually, it is little bit quite unusual because of that word not very often appear in Pali canon. Anyway, the English translation is given by Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi, murmuring. Murmuring means like singing. So that is the meaning of that sutta. Okay, let's...
I think Bhikkhu Sujato translated it to whispering.
Let us try to understand the context, then we can decide. Okay. The Pali stanza are like this. Tite majjantike kale sannisiveso pakkiso sanateva braharanyang tambayang pati bhatimanti. Tite majjantike kale. Majjantika kale means in afternoon. In the afternoon. Pakkisu means bird. Sannivesu means settle down. When the bird settle down, afternoon, Sanateva Braharanyam. Braharanya means the great forest. Sanateva means like singing. Tangbayang Patibatimang, that daily thing, it is fearful for him. Did you get the idea? A certain deity approached the Buddha and said, the nature of the afternoon forest makes fear in me. So that is the basic idea that he explained to the Buddha. What is the reason? Can you imagine? Here it makes a very nice background. Actually, the commentary also explain after the lunch, even many kind of animal beings, they want to take a nap because of the after meal. Sometimes they are exhausted. Especially for animal beings, they have to make their own effort to find food. Maybe for birds, they have to find fruit, maybe other kind of vegetables. And the animal beings who eat meat, they have to make some more effort to find their meals. Therefore, after having lunch, they are a little bit exhausted and they want to take a nap. Also, the forest, maybe the wind in the forest, which cause to make a little bit sound. Here, the Pali word Braharanya is the great forest or a thick forest. It's not like a park or grove. Because of sometime there are very thickest forest. Even when some people venture in, they cannot find the way to come out. There are such kind of forest in the world. So here it is mentioned such kind of forest. That forest is sometimes fearful, dreadful. Did you get the idea? Thank you.
Thank you,
Then the Buddha answered, Tite majjantike kale sanni sivesu pakisu sanateva braharanya sarati patibhatimang. But its opposition happened to the Buddha. Sarati means actually the Buddha is enjoying, rejoicing in that forest. Can you imagine a big difference between that deity and the Buddha? Can you see, or can you imagine, or can you explain?
There's a contrast, but I'm not quite following it. From something fearful to something delightful.
Yeah. The Buddha is delighting with it. The Buddha is rejoicing with such kind of situation, but the same situation is fearful to that deity. What is the reason?
Just perception.
Perception, and especially that divine being, even he coming from a certain divine realm, still he is not an awakened person in terms of Buddhist. That means the Buddha is the person who completely destroy greed, hatred and delusion. When somebody completely destroy greed, hatred and delusion, no fear. Sometimes we get fear. Suppose when something happened in our home, something happened to our relatives, something happened to our family members, friends, because of we have greed, we have a great attachment. The Buddha and liberated one don't have any attachment. Therefore, they don't have any fear. Did you get the idea?
Right. So if you're attached to family events or whatever, you have those worries or fears.
Yeah.
And if you can kind of go, well, that doesn't really matter. That's temporary. It's not real. It doesn't have to affect you. You don't have to be attached.
Yeah.
To those things.
Yeah. More attachment, sometimes more suffering, more worry. Less attachment means less suffering, less worry. No attachment means no suffering, no worry, no fear. When we read the canon, mostly the Buddha used to sleep maybe in a forest, in a cave, or sometime in an open area. Because of if somebody come to steal the Buddha, nothing. If somebody come to steal liberated one, nothing. They have the least possession. Maybe like 2-3 robes, ball, no money. No car, no computer, no iPhone, nothing.
Okay, so there's a metaphor being made here, obviously.
Yeah.
But what is the metaphor that this thick forest or jungle, what is that the metaphor for? Is that the metaphor for the Buddha? Or for Arahant? Or what? And here's why
No.
I ask. When we say here, and it's in both lines, Sanateva Prahararanya. Right?
Mm.
So the forest says to itself, whispers to itself.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
it's not the Deva saying this scares me. It's not the Buddha saying this is delightful to me. It's the forest saying this scares me. And it's the forest, in the Buddha's reply, it's the forest saying this delights me. So who are we talking? Who is the forest? Who is this thick grove?
No.
About the individual?
No. Here, the same forest make fear in the deity and not fear in the Buddha.
Okay, so this is not reflexive then? When it says Sanateva Braharanyam,
Yeah.
it's not reflexive, saying the forest says to itself? Is that not what that says?
No.
So who's whispering then? It says the forest
No.
is whispering.
The forest whispering, maybe wind come, maybe other kind of, the sound of other kind of animals. Sometimes the sound of some animals, sometimes very dangerous. If, as I mentioned earlier, hasn't completely destroyed greed, then that causes to make fear in that person. But the Buddha knows the absolute truth about that murmuring, that whispering, therefore no fear in Buddha. The same object, two people understand in two ways. The same.
Okay, you're the Pali expert, not me. So I'm just trying to understand this though in a metaphorical sense, because to me, I hear it saying, in the afternoon, when the birds are done eating, and they all get quiet.
But
so now that the forest is quiet,
something happening in the forest, that thing causes to make fear and non-fear in two individuals, Buddha and deity.
Right, I get that. But is it the silence and emptiness
No.
that is fearful to the deity and delightful to the Buddha?
No. That even the birds, sometimes animals keep the silence. Naturally, there is a kind of sound. That sound makes fear in deity, but not in the Buddha. Because of this is the thick forest, thick jungle. Actually, there is a very important sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, Bayabhairavā Sutta, that fear and dread. Try to read it. In that sutta, very clearly the Buddha mentioned, without proper training, some people cannot live such kind of thick jungle. Because of sometimes day seems night, night seems day. Those jungles so thick. Then if anybody want to practice meditation or venture in there, they have to dilute, because of they cannot understand the nature of that forest. Then Buddha and liberated one can stay there because of they don't have.
So in the first section, a person is in the forest is basically whispering to them, like have fear, or they perceive the whispers of the forest to have fear. And the second time is an enlightened a Buddha or the Buddha coming in and hearing the same whisper but perceiving it to mean be delighted by this.
Yeah.
Is that okay? It's a little bit lost in translation.
Yeah. Did you get the idea, Tom?
Yeah. I just.
I think that
it's the Pali to me that's confusing.
The problem. Yeah.
It seems to be reflexive, meaning this forest is saying to itself. The forest is whispering to itself. That's what it seems like. So maybe that's why I say the Pali is confusing, but I think it's not just confusing to me. It's confusing to Bhikkhu Bodhi. It's confusing to Bhikkhu Sujato. So
Is the forest talking, or is somebody just listening to the forest or perceiving the essence of the forest or something here? But yeah,
right. But that's the way it's translated in English. It seems to be.
It's open to so much interpretation.
Yeah, actually, as you mentioned, the problem with the perception, the Buddha understand it in the perfect way, correctly, but that deity he cannot understand because of still he has to do something. That means he isn't a awakened one, liberated one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I see that, but I also, the Buddha doesn't fear death, so he's not afraid because he doesn't fear death.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't feel trapped in the cycle of samsara.
Yeah.
But there are non-awakened people who also don't fear death because they hate life.
Yeah.
And so because they hate life, they don't. I know a lot of soldiers that were that way. You know, I know a lot of people who suffer from PTSD like I did, who did not care, who didn't fear death because they didn't care if they lived or not. You know, so why I think the normal person, the normal non-awakened person, would be fearful in a jungle situation like that. It's those who don't fear death that are not. And I think that's what the Buddha is then pointing out. You know, that this is delightful. This is peaceful to me. You know, he understands the role of the forest. He understands the role of the animals, the birds, the bees, the tigers, whatever.
Yeah, actually, the Pali stanza is very clear.
Well, I think I get now I understand the pattern. I read ahead to the drowsiness and lethargy, and it's the same pattern. And if you do the same thing, how you react to it can, the noble path not appearing, versus if you greet it with the right attitude or energy or etc., then you do see the path. But you can have the same exact experience with a different result, depending on.
Yeah, you haven't been with us, Gary, but as we've been studying these suttas from the beginning of this first book, they're all that way. They're all, first stanza is the mundane or the view of the world. The second stanza is the view of the super mundane or the view of the Buddha. And so they're all kind of
it took me
contrasting.
The second one helped me understand the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the contrast.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, like mostly like question and answers. Especially in Samyutta Nikaya, the beginning, mostly deities. They answer a question, or sometimes they explain something. Then the Buddha explain the absolute truth or the correct thing. That is the nature of all the Samyutta Nikaya. Okay, anyway, yeah.
Can we talk about the translation here though?
Yeah.
Because I have two English translations, and they are different. Mostly talking about the third line, okay, where the jungle or the thick forest says to itself. So Bhikkhu Bodhi then says, the mighty forest itself murmurs. And then he puts a colon, which makes it mean this is what he murmurs. This is what the forest murmurs. Okay, and Bhikkhu Sujato writes, the formidable jungle whispers to itself. That seems scary to me. So again, it's the forest talking, at least in both of their translations. Which is why it's a little bit odd to me as we talk about the Pali, that they were so far off in translating that it's the forest talking or it's the Devata talking?
No.
Because they say
Actually,
it's the forest that's talking.
no. Actually, here, afternoon, there is a kind of noise, sound in the forest. That sound causes to make fear in that deity. That sound, that voice. Did you get the idea?
It makes more sense the way you translate it. It does.
Because of that is the perception of that deity. That sound makes fear in that deity. Because of that, sound is the natural thing in that forest. Maybe wind, the sound of birds and animals. He perceives it as a fearful perception. That perception is fearful to him. On the other hand, the same perception not make fear in Buddha, not the forest. The forest doesn't talk to anyone, but that natural sound makes fear in deity and non-fear in Buddha.
Unless the forest is going through enlightenment at that moment. And in the first stanza, the forest is not enlightened. And in the second one, the forest itself is another way to look at it.
Yeah, I think what's odd is that both Bhikkhu Sujato and Bhikkhu Bodhi put a colon there at the end. You see? At the end of that line they put a colon, which indicates that's what the murmuring is. But it seems like it should be a period there, because it's the murmuring that the deity of the Devata, that murmuring is scary to me, is what it appears to be.
Yeah.
And then the Buddha saying that murmuring is delightful.
Yeah. Actually,
So I think it's a punctuation problem that the other two translators put there in English.
the very important thing is here, the sound or murmuring in that forest make fear in deity and non-fear in Buddha. So that is the very important thing we have to understand. Because of that deity still has greediness, but the Buddha completely eradicated greediness. So that is the reason to see those two individuals in two ways. Any question?
So in the Pali, the Patibati,
Yeah.
Patibati man.
Mam means for me, to me.
So Patibati is to me.
Yeah. Actually, patibati is the verb here.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So okay. So that's reflexive to
Yeah,
me.
to me. Yeah, to me.
Okay.
The
So
question is
Tambayam is scares me. Tambayam is scary.
No. Tambaya means that murmuring.
See, they skipped that in the English translation, so that's important to know. So Tambayam Patibati manti. That murmuring is scary to me.
Yeah.
But then when we have Sarati Patibati man, which is what the Buddha said, right? Sarati,
Yeah.
that is delightful
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then maybe we have the murmuring of the forest is happening.
Right. It's what.
The murmuring of the forest is happening, and these two.
The fact that it's murmuring is delightful to me. Yeah.
Right. It'd be like the wind blowing. It could be something where you're scared, like when a haunted house, the wind howls through or
Yeah.
something like that, and you might have that fear.
Fear,
You
yeah,
think
yeah.
of it in the context of haunted house with the wind driving around, and another person hears the wind and goes, oh, this great fresh breeze, even though they hear the same thing. I never knew you could struggle so much with what amounts to perhaps 4 sentences at the most.
Okay, I'm good. I see what it's saying. I was trying to find something deeper in it, though, that the forest was representing something that it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay. So now, did you understand
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the saying, the importance of these two stanzas?
Definitely.
Here, the perception of two people, awaken and non-awaken, and the cause for the perception, because of deity still has greediness, but the Buddha no greediness. So that is the reason they understood, they pursued the same thing in two ways, in different ways.
Yeah. Fear and not fear.
Yeah, I think better to read if you have time. Bhaya-bhairava Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, fear and dread. Fear and dread. I think you know the meaning of these two words, fear, and what is the meaning of dread? D-R-E-A-D, dread.
Ultimate fear. Great
Yeah,
fear.
ultimate fear. Ultimate fear.
Yeah.
Here, the ultimate fear, because of this happened maybe in the middle of the thick forest. That situation we cannot expect, maybe in a grove or in a park.
So perhaps
That's
the
good.
deity, why do you be attached to fear?
Yeah,
Can that be your attachment? You can be attached to money.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Most people are attached to fear because they're afraid of dying. And because they're afraid of dying, they're attached to their fear
Yeah.
of dying.
because of people.
My mother was this way. My mother, when she was dying of cancer, she told the doctor, just juice me up with morphine. I'm horrified of fear, of pain. I don't want to
fear of
feel
fear.
it. Yeah, I don't want to feel anything. I just want to be numb until I die. She wasn't afraid of dying. She was afraid of the pain, of being scared of dying, whatever. So
Actually, not people get fear to die, but sickness, old age, also make fear. Now, think about the situation around the world. Do people live very happily because of coronavirus? Nobody live happily. Nobody live peacefully. Many people distracted because of sickness. There are not only coronavirus, but also there are a number of other sickness, maybe diabetes, cholesterol, heart attack, number of physical diseases. People are in constant fear because of sickness. Old age. Some people don't want to be grown people. Some people use number of medication because of they want to stay very beautifully, and sometimes like they want to stop getting old age. But some people really in fear because of those the natural things we cannot stop, no way to stop, no way to escape. Therefore, people are in constant fear. Some people in constant fear.
I guess now that I think about it, some people are really attached to their fear almost in a political way. You know, if you want to fear immigrants, that you can go, oh yeah, they're causing all of our problems. Fear the immigrants, and then it perpetuates itself. Well, somebody else might see, oh, immigrants, great, you're bringing diversity and some value to the country.
Right.
So you can live in that fear, though, and you know which side I'm talking about, where they're always promoting that fear. Oh, you have to fear. The government's going to take away your guns. Oh, the immigrants are coming to take your job. Oh, and that cycle of fear continues there for some reason on that side.
Yeah, because of sometimes that is the instinct to survive. This is not only in human being, even animal beings. They also want to survive. Suppose a lion going to prey a deer, maybe run fast, full capacity, because of that deer want to protect himself. He want to live longer. That is the instinct of all sentient beings. Even a worm on the ground, sometimes he want to hide or he want to protect himself. Because of that, even that worm has the consciousness.
You think?
Yeah. Even
I'm not sure how sentient worms are, but okay, I see your point.
yeah, even
Even
a
a worm has fear.
yeah, even a bug. You know the bug, the bed bug.
Yeah.
There is a very nice story. In the time of the Buddha, in the lifetime of the Buddha, a monk, he received a cloth to make a robe, and he, from his sister, he made the robe, and he washed it, dyed it, and put in the dress line. Today evening, and tonight he died. Then he was born as a bed bug in the same robe, because of he had the greed. When the other monk informed this matter to Buddha, the Buddha said, don't move the robe until 7 days. Then they followed it, and after 7 days, those monks asked what happened. Then the Buddha said, the owner of that robe, he was born in the robe as a bug. His lifespan just 7 days, maybe no blood or no any kind of nutriment, died. See, even a bug, human being, according to, actually it has mentioned in Vinaya Pitaka, according to that explanation, we can reborn as even a bug, even maybe mosquito or other kind of fly.
Yeah.
So that is the greediness. Therefore, here also greediness causes fear.
Yeah, it's the clinging to life,
Yeah.
the clinging to whatever. Yeah.
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 When we
okay.
drive, we are very careful because of maybe we are thinking family members, relatives, and also we want to serve, we want to protect ourselves. Nobody want to die immediately, instantly, quickly. Everybody, at least, you know the people who live in life supports, sometimes days, weeks, months, even they want to cling to their life. Nobody want to die. That is the greediness. That is the fear. Okay?
Yeah.
According to this explanation, the greediness makes a huge effect in everybody's life. The Buddha mentioned in Dhammapada, Pemato jayati soko, Pemato jayati bhayam. Oh, sorry, Tanhaya jayati soko, Tanhaya jayati bhayam. Tanhaya vipamutasa, Nati soko kuto bhayam. Tanhaya jayati soko. Tanhaya, because of craving, sorrow. Tanhaya jayati bhayam, fear, because of craving. Tanhaya vipamutasa, when somebody got rid from craving, Nati soko kuto bhayam, no fear, no sorrow.
And do some translate craving as the first time I remember being taught was desire
Yeah.
caused suffering.
Yeah.
And then somebody corrected me and said, no, it's attachment. You know, but I think you're using greediness as the same as attachment, or greediness like always wanting.
Wanting.
Okay, versus being attached where you just can't let it go. You're always.
You still want it. It's all.
Yeah, these are all in the same plane.
Yeah.
Desire and craving, attachment and greediness.
Grasping, clinging.
Yeah, actually mostly same. Yeah, same meaning, and even in Pali language also there are a few terms, but mostly close. But there is a subtle
The subtle difference.
subtle difference.
Between
Yeah,
the desire,
yeah.
craving, and
Yeah.
attachment, and then the greediness.
Yeah. Suppose in Pali language tanha, we call in English translation craving, and raga also mostly craving, but English translation lust. So do you see any difference between
Yes.
craving and lust?
And desire is right in between those two.
Yeah. Lobha, desire. So do you see any subtle discrimination like craving, lust, desire? Do you see?
Yeah, this is why translation or interpreters it's like an art versus a science from one language to another.
Yeah. Actually, tanha, craving is the most dangerous thing according to Buddha's explanation. Because of that is the thing that keep us in samsara. The Buddha mentioned you can read the dependent origination, avijja paccaya sankara, ignorance and craving. We are in the situation of ignorance because of craving. We think that material things are the everything. We think that family members are the everything. We think that money is the everything. Therefore, we attach. We desire. Sometimes we cannot develop our mind completely. Therefore, we have ignorance. Because we attach to those things. We think, oh, these are the everything. When we concern, when we collect as possible, then that is the everything. Then we are creating attachment, craving, which keep us in samsara. Because of it hinders the development of our mind. That is the nature around the world. That is the survival skills.
Right. Not
That
just
is-
the nature of humans, but the nature of devatas, nature of animals. It's the nature of samsara.
Yeah, samsara. Nature of samsara. So that is very dangerous. But when we have the less attachment, like Buddha and liberated one, he was a prince and he renounced everything, just 3 robes and very little thing, maybe 8 items. He could sleep everywhere. He could eat anything, whatever he received from the people, because of no attachment to gratify eye, ear, nose, tongue and physical body. We are collecting everything because of we want to gratify only 5 organs, 5 faculties. To gratify these 5 faculties, we do everything. Maybe for some people that is a good thing, but in reality, in terms of Buddhist, sometimes that is not good.
Right. Well, that's what traps us in the cycle.
Yeah, trapped in the cycle. And makes a lot of suffering, lot of worries. Because of people are suffering, people are worrying too much, since they cannot understand what is the thing that need to survive and the limit. Because of people are sometimes unlimited, they're collecting everything. But if we can content, that's enough. But we have to compete with other people. That is the problem. That is happening around the world. People are competing. Sometimes they have enough, but their mind not enough.
Keeps you blind.
Yeah.
Or just realize what that band name probably means. It keeps your third eye blind. Just now realize what that might refer to. But, yeah, so your third eye will never open though if you're attached, greedy, full of desire. Then you can't see anything else.
And there are two suttas in Majjhima Nikaya, the mass of suffering. Mahadukkha-kanda, mass of suffering. A lot of suffering. People are suffering. Maybe husband fight with wife, and wife fight with husband, parent fight with children, children fight with parent, relatives, brothers, sisters. It's very nice sutta because of to gratify only these 5 organs. If you have time, please read mass suffering and less suffering. So there are 2 suttas, 2 discourses. It's very, very nicely the Buddha explained the real situation that happening around us. Mass suffering sutta. Okay, then did you get the idea? Okay, let us try to understand the next sutta. The name of the next sutta, Niddha Tandi Sutta. Niddha means drowsiness. Tandi means like laziness or lethargy. That certain Devata uttered this stanza in the presence of Buddha. Niddha Tandi Vijambika Arati Bhatta Sammado Etena Nappakasati Arya Maggo Ida Paninam. I would like to translate like this. Arya Maggo means the noble path. Ida means here, Paninam means for beings, maybe for human being or animal being. Na Pakasanti means doesn't come to light. Because of Niddha means drowsiness or sleep. Tandi, lethargy, laziness. Vijambika, actually Vijambika means stretching out, arousing. Later we can discuss. Arati means discontent. And Bhatta Sammado means like intoxication after meal. Those are some attitude somebody cannot understand the noble path. According to explanation of that deity. The Buddha also mostly repeat the Niddha Tanding Vijambika Arati Bhatta Samadam, almost same. Viryenatam Panametva. When somebody has virya means the effort, then that person is able to, Panametva means destroy, eliminate those things, and Aryamaggo Visuddhati, at the same time that person is able to clean the noble path. Ariya Magga means the noble path. Visuddhati means purified, clean. So basically, the meaning of these two essence means if somebody has drowsiness, lethargy, discontent, and want to sleep, maybe after too much eating.
Food coma, we call it.
Yeah, that person
Well,
actually.
The English says, the Bhikkhu Bodhi wrote, torpor after meals. That's very highfalutin language. We would say food coma.
Yeah, food
So-
coma.
I'll
Yeah.
have to look up torpor, bro.
If you eat so much you want to take a nap, we call that a food
Yeah.
coma. So
Yeah, forget the nirvana, forget the noble path. But if anybody has those negative attitude, he cannot make anything successfully in this mundane life, in this general life, average life.
I told you, this sutta is why I came to the temple today. Because I knew we were going to talk about this, and I was
Yeah.
so tired. I was sitting on the couch
Yeah.
at home, and I'm like, my wife's like, "Are you going to go to the temple tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Are you sure?" Because I was like just sitting on the couch, half asleep, you know.
Yeah, actually, in Singhala Sutta, the Buddha mentioned some people don't walk. He think, "Oh, now I am full." Sometimes I am very hungry. Sometimes think I am sleepy. It is too early. It is too late. Maybe I will do it tomorrow. That he is always postponing, cancelling whatever has to do today. Then that person cannot make anything successfully in this very life. Therefore, without making this life very successfully, nirvana or the ultimate truth cannot be expected in that person. This is actually, forget the nirvana, it is very practical in our daily life for everybody.
So all buried in here is the idea of procrastination.
Yeah,
I
procrastinating.
thought my grandmother probably had never met a Buddhist in her life, you know, but she had a sign on her door above her bedroom that said, "Why put off for tomorrow what I can do today?" You know, but it was the same mentality, you know, that don't procrastinate. And,
Yeah,
what do the Christians say? Don't procrastinate the day of your repentance or something like that. So,
And I guess I need to take from this, if you, after the meal, well, so you were in the military before. Remember how you'd eat lunch, but you had like a class to take. And I've been the teacher and the student in this scenario. So I've been up there teaching, I see everybody just like,
yeah,
nodding off after lunch. All right, you stand up, go to the back of the room, stand up, you stand up, go back to the room. It's just like everybody wants to fall asleep after the meal. I didn't know that was a bad, well, yeah, so the Buddha is basically here saying, fight against that. Don't go to sleep after your meal. Don't let yourself have that after lunch nap.
yeah,
Keep up, keep working, keep the energy up.
Yeah.
Don't let yourself
Yeah.
fall asleep until it's time.
yeah,
I think, honestly, I don't think that's what the Buddha's saying here. Because the Buddha frequently, after their lunchtime naps, it was the heat of the day, and he would take a nap in the afternoon and then teach in the evening or something. So I don't think that's really what he's saying. I think these are just words that people understood and could relate to that all go back to procrastination. All go back to, if you're gonna, and again, it kind of goes to the way he taught to the bhikkhus. Don't be a lazy bhikkhu. Be diligent. Have energy. Don't prop yourself up and lean against a tree and just fall asleep. But meditate. Work on it. Be diligent in your. So I think that's all this is really saying.
Back to procrastination. If there's something that you could be doing to better yourself or help others do it,
Do that.
Don't
Yeah.
just like.
I think that's what he's really saying. I think these are just words that everybody can relate to. You know? Because he did. He took naps in the afternoon, right? I mean, after the noon meal, he would take a nap in the afternoon. We read lots of suttas where he did that.
Actually, I think this is the thing happened in that forest also afternoon.
We
because
already heard
of
about the birds that slept
yeah,
after lunch.
birds and
So,
animal also.
yeah.
They had a nap, then
It's okay for the birds to do it.
and especially I mentioned to read the beautiful night. In that sutta, the Buddha mentioned Ajjeva Kiccha Matapang Kojanyo Maran Sue Naiso Sangrantena Marasena Machuna. Whatever we have to do it today. Ajjeva Kichang, today itself. Kojanyo Maran Sue. Who knows whether we are going to die tomorrow or not?
Yeah, a long, beautiful night. That's a good.
Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah.
That's a very beautiful sutta, and
There's two like that though. Isn't
yeah,
there?
four actually.
Oh, there's
four.
four. Also
Yeah.
called very similar words. The
Yeah,
long,
very
beautiful
similar
night,
one.
The long,
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
night, or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, one beautiful night.
Yeah.
Therefore, those are the negative characters, negative attitude that prevent the development, maybe mundane or supramundane levels of any kind of person. These attitude not only concern with the disciple of the Buddha, even we can apply those things in our daily life with everybody. Maybe president, maybe a farmer. Everybody has to be diligent and stay away from negligence. This is very practical. Those are indeed negative emotions.
Yeah, I see that. I think he's speaking in words that people just related to. Today, the Buddha's teachings would be: don't be a couch potato, don't go into a food coma, but work hard and be diligent and draw energy.
Yeah, you take the whole first sentence before the colon and just say procrastination.
Yeah.
And then when one dispels this with energy, the middle path is cleared.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
procrastination, because of this here among things, the middle path does not appear. Actually, it's more succinct, but yeah, that's what I'm taking from it.
Actually, there is a very nice sutta that we can apply with this sutta. The name of the sutta is Maranadam. Maranam means the meditation on death. Once the Buddha addressed some disciple, and he asked, how are you practicing the meditation on death? Then one monk said, I am going, actually it is a little bit longer, I have to brief, I am going to live one day, maybe 24 hours. In that time, I am going to practice meditation. And another monk, I am going to live half day, maybe 12 hours. And another monk said, I am going to eat maybe 5-6 times food. In that time, I am going to practice meditation. Then the last one said, I am going to live maybe a single breath. In that time, I am going to practice the meditation on death. That means sometimes this is a very short time, maybe second. But the rest, 3 people, they're going to live longer. We cannot say how long time we are going to live. The present moment is very important. What we have to do in the present moment, we have to do it. Those are negative motivation, emotion that keep the development of each and every individual.
Is that also in the Majjhima Nikaya?
Sorry?
Is that
That sutta in Anguttara Nikaya.
Nikaya?
The meditation on death. The meditation on that. It is a little longer and very nicely the Buddha explained how we have to be diligent to do whatever we have to do. Suppose the character of the Buddha, after he renounced practice 6 years and becoming a Buddha, maybe he, according to Buddhist literature, he slept around 2-3 hours in his mission of 45 years. because of he dedicated his time, full time, for the people, for the benefit of people. After becoming an awakened one, he could sleep, but he never did it. He dedicated. He showed how we have to act, how we have to be diligent to make our purposes.
Do you know which book, the book of 4s, 5s, 6s, whatever the meditation on death is? Do you know where that is?
I think 3s.
In 3.
Yeah, I will inform you. I will text you. Yeah,
I'd like to read it.
yeah. All right. Any comments or any question? We have 5 minutes more. Did you enjoy? Yeah. Any question or any comments?
I think we answered everything there.
So, Arya Maggo
Yeah.
is noble path.
Yeah. Arya means noble. Magga means the path. Noble path.
And the Eightfold Noble Path?
Actually, we
just call it
the Pali word for noble eightfold Aryo Attangiko Maggo. Atta means the 8. Anyway, this refers to noble eightfold path.
Right.
Whether here include 8 or not.
No,
Arya
of course,
Magga, yeah,
of course.
yeah.
I gathered that. I
Yeah.
just was tying my
Yeah.
Pali words together.
Yeah, because of the Buddha mentioned noble eightfold path is the only way to achieve liberation. But sometimes Maggo also, only the path, but we have to understand here the Buddha mentioned the noble eightfold path. Arya is adjective. Arya means the noble.
Right.
In Sanskrit language, Arya, the Aryan, like German. In German, Arya, yeah. It's a Sanskrit word.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sanskrit word.
Of course, Hitler misunderstood
Yeah.
what Aryans were, but
Yeah.
he thought Aryans were blonde hair and blue eyes. So.
Okay, if you don't have any question or any comments, I'd like to stop here and thank you very much joining this discussion. Hope to see you next week.
Thank you.